Welcome to the first episode of the Soft Punches podcast, where I'm going to be interviewing my girlfriend. So the first question I have is, what's one moment in your life that shaped who you are today, even if it didn't feel big at the time it happened?
What is this? I thought it would be like easy peasy questions, not like life-changing questions.
Well, I can think of one that happened about 13 weeks ago that was pretty important.
Okay, you're right. Yep. Getting pregnant was definitely something that was life-changing for the best.
Okay, I do have a question about when you got pregnant.
Yeah.
Because I know I was really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been
Yes.
very well documented the whole way through.
Yeah.
But what was your initial first 2-hour thoughts when you found out you were pregnant, or when you first thought you were pregnant before it was confirmed and the test had come back positive?
I kind of knew right away. I knew when I was 4 days late. I'm never late. I'm super regular. So I'm yeah, I might be pregnant. So, but it was very it felt very safe and very normal and very happy and stable and secure and solid. I don't know. I just I didn't I wasn't panicking in any way.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast makes me really fucking nervous. But the pregnancy did not make me nervous whatsoever.
Because I remember when the first, I hate the word pregnancy scare. I think it should be pregnancy excitement.
There was no scare.
There was no scare.
No.
I've always wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
And then the prospect of you being pregnant, there's obvious nerves. Now I'm the provider, now the solo worker, just all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not nervous in the way of oh my God, my life's going to change. It was more nervous in the way of now it's very real. I have to buckle down. I have to be a provider. I have to do this. But I really liked it. I really like those kind of challenges where you have to rise up to the occasion. And so that was probably up until maybe February 22nd, one of, or the best moment of my life was finding out I'm going to be a father. I will say the first 6 weeks, when it's kind of it's just the size of a sesame seed and it's very up in the air whether or not the pregnancy is going to stick.
I remember the sesame seed.
Yeah, it was kind of dull in a way. Not dull, that's a poor choice of words, but it was more
Didn't feel real.
I really hope it sticks. But until it's confirmed that it's going to stick and we see some ultrasounds and we're past certain milestones, I don't want to get too excited, but that's because I didn't want to get my own hopes up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt that way, but I definitely did.
Yeah, it was more it's that weird phase that you're pregnant, but you can't really tell anybody, mm-hmm. just in case the baby doesn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
So I in my head, it wasn't it wasn't gonna stick. I knew it's gonna stick. It just felt very real. But at the same time, if I would say it out loud, it's I would jinx it. Oh, what if something happens? And we can't announce it yet. Yeah, obviously I wanted to tell everybody. Luckily, a few of my very close friends knew. So I could share that with them. So that was kind of how can I say this? I was able to talk about it with the people close to me, which was reassuring. I don't know, reassuring, or just it felt more real in a way.
Yeah.
But I know you couldn't really share it with a lot of people because your close friends are working with us.
I got to share it with Aaron at 9 weeks or something, or 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my people. But also, your friends are my friends. So sharing it with Kat and Eva, that's still sharing it with my friends.
Well, we shared it to Kat together.
Yeah.
As soon as we knew. So, yeah.
That's yeah. That was a great answer for that question. Wow. Beautiful
Damn.
Conversation.
Yeah.
I think in that, in this next interview question, it's what's a struggle you don't usually talk about, but think more people would understand if you did? And for me, that's very stands out, especially at the early start of the pregnancy, is I struggle with, and I didn't realize until the pregnancy, is being excited for my own, not being excited for my own things, but like being firm on my own decision in my own life. I feel like, not that I can't, but it's just, I get so much more invigorated when somebody, like a third party, is like, wow, that's really exciting. It makes it feel like 100x bigger, which makes me more excited for it. That's what my answer is.
Are you talking specifically about the pregnancy, or are you talking about like everything?
No, everything.
Like everything.
Like even this podcast, mentioning it to people and they're like, oh, that's sick. Feels better than actually doing the work. And I'm trying to switch that on myself. But that's definitely something I struggle with, is like building my own excitement and energy towards, I'm going to say projects, but like it was a little different with the pregnancy. Like that one for me felt very natural and very like, but I definitely got like more fire in my belly when I would tell people and hear their reactions. But like for projects like these and like the YouTube videos, I definitely not rely, but it's really motivating when somebody else is like, oh, that's great.
So you're saying that you're like fueled by external validation.
I think what you're looking for is I'm an attention whore.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh my God. I mean, it's definitely something that I can relate to. Like I think we talked about like the concept of like discipline versus like, how can I say this? Like instant like excitement around like a certain project, you know, like when, let's say you have a new idea and you're like, oh, I'm going to build this, I don't know, XYZ project. It's really exciting at first. So like you're kind of fueled by excitement and like motivation, like on the spot. But then that kind of like wears off. So you just need to power through like what's coming after that, which is like maybe like more routine and everything. So like it's just to stay like disciplined and motivated after that like spike of adrenaline wears off, I would say. But like that's something that I struggle with too.
Yeah.
100%.
If you had to give it like a 1 to 2 word title, like what would you title that struggle? Like I don't want to call it self-motivation because I find I'm a very motivated person, but it's like I'm I lack self-fuel in a way, or self-excitement.
I don't think you're lacking it. I think you have like a hard time maybe like sticking to that like initial feeling once the initial adrenaline wears off, I want to say. And like you like fall into like a routine where you just have to like just keep doing the same thing until, you know, you stay consistent until like your project becomes successful.
Yeah.
But how do I describe it in like a short little
sentence? Right? Like it's a hard thing to describe. Maybe discipline. Maybe discipline's the word.
I think so.
Maybe it's, you know what?
Like,
for lack of a better word, let's go with discipline.
Discipline over excitement.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think also like, I think we talked about this in the past, but like discipline is, I think like an easier way to fight that feeling would be to just create a new habit. And you know, like my theory of like, if you just do something consistently for like 3 weeks, then you just, if you do something consistently for 3 weeks, then it just becomes a new habit. I know like some books or studies say it's 66 days to create a new habit. But I don't know. In my experience, it's a little less than that. I think like 3 weeks, even for working out, you know, just like falling into like a new routine for working out, for example. I didn't work out since like when the pandemic hit. I just completely stopped. But before the pandemic, I was really active. I want to say like 4 times a week. And after the pandemic, I was like, oh my God, I completely stopped for like 4 years.
Wow.
For like 3 to 4 years, just completely stopped. I just couldn't get my ass back to the gym, like at all. And then I found this gym that I, you know, loved a lot.
Sweat
and
and Tonic, not sponsored.
Well, yeah, not sponsored, exactly. Anyway, love that gym. Like it's exactly my type of classes and everything. But I found that it only took me like 3 weeks to fall back into the routine, or my past businesses as well. Just like work on things that are not that exciting or that I like a little less. Like content creation for me was really like a struggle.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks of content creation just got me into a new habit. And then I was able
There
to
you go.
do it a little less painfully.
When you're going through something tough, now this is a question I'm asking you, not one from, I mean, it's a little prompted from ChatGPT, but this is coming. I altered the question.
Okay.
When you're going through something tough, what do you actually want from people around you? A thinking question.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like sometimes, like when you come to somebody, to your partner, to your best friend, just like in need of something, and sometimes it's just venting versus sometimes it's just like finding solutions.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm going through a really hard time, it's less solution oriented for me. It's more just venting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just somebody. I think what I need in those times is just to have that support and that ear,
Mm-hmm.
less than, oh, here's what you can do, X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm very solution oriented in the first place. So if I'm just like in a phase of distress, I'm not gonna want more solutions. I'm just gonna want like comfort.
Yeah. That's something I will say about you. You're very, and I remember when we started dating, you said you're very independent.
Yeah.
And you're very independent, but I would almost adjust that. I don't think you're independent. I think you're able to find solutions on your own. You're self-sufficient as opposed to independent. And I couldn't give you the description of both of those, but that's just what feels right in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay. Like why?
because of that, because every time there's a problem, and I remember early on, I would offer some sort of solution or just something to help get over that problem. You already had 2 or 3 options that you're willing to try. You just needed to vent. And so like, I think I kind of picked up on that pretty early, and like, not that we had lots of stuff to vent about in the first 3 weeks, but I don't think it took very long for me to realize that you just needed to vent into an ear. And luckily I got big ones for you to vent
Yeah, you're
into.
a really good listener. You pick up on everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a beautiful voice. I love listening to you talk. What's something you've unlearned about yourself over the years?
I feel like I know the answer to that one.
I don't even understand that question.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you understand it, answer it. This is your interview, not mine.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. No, I understand the question. Let me just think about it, because there are a few things that I really unlearned about me, so I can like build new, like a new belief system around certain things that like it just wasn't serving me before.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I think is personal finances. I was the kind of person, and I think a lot of people do that, when you don't have a lot of knowledge about personal finance, you kind of just want to close your eyes and like hopefully it's just not going to stress you out. And when you look at it deeply, like into it, it just like stresses you out, right? So I unlearned that behavior. I started like looking very periodically into my finances, into my spending, categorizing my expenses, getting myself out of debt. Also, that was an issue before, and I think just automating my investments was a big one for me, because it just like allowed me to accumulate, like, build my net worth in that way, versus just like, being like a pile of like, I don't know what's happening in there. So I think that provided me with a lot of structure.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's automated, I don't have to, it's not like, oh, whatever is left at the end of the month, I'm going to put it into my investments. It's like, no, investments first, you pay yourself first, and then you kind of like manage your expenses, whatever you have left.
Yeah.
Basically. So it's just like flipping that mindset. That was one thing. And another thing, I feel like there was another thing. Anyway, one answer for now.
One is good.
One answer
One
for
answer.
now. Yeah.
Patreon coming next year. Okay, here's a good one. Do you think love makes people stronger or more vulnerable? Or
No.
both?
Stronger. Okay, I used to be dead inside. Completely just dead inside, hopeless. Okay. And I had like a little bit of an emotional awakening back in like 2018. Well, a little bit. No, it was a massive emotional awakening back in 2018. And one thing that I have to say, even though like it was a period of like 2 years of like complete chaos and panic attacks and like just like bleh, not good, I always said afterwards, like, I prefer to feel the wide range of emotions, good and bad, rather than not feeling any. So I don't think love makes you vulnerable. Like, yes, vulnerability is part of it, but I think vulnerability makes you stronger, because the more comfortable you are with vulnerability, the stronger you become, because then like it's nothing scary anymore.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think like the existence of vulnerability gives people the power to be strong. I think back to like you can tie it into 1,000 different things, but like if you're vulnerable in an office setting, like I'm shitty with Outlook, I'm really bad with Microsoft Office or PowerPoint. Those are your vulnerabilities in that space. You strengthen your vulnerabilities, and now you're a much more well-rounded person. I did MMA for a very long time. I still train judo and jiu-jitsu. Knowing where I'm vulnerable in like a randori session or a sparring session lets me like hyper focus on my weaknesses so that I can strengthen them up. And you'll never be perfect. You'll never have no weaknesses. But if you're always aware of your vulnerability, then you can round it off, strengthen it up, and just keep making yourself into a more whole person. I think you can apply that to a lot of different things in life. I think love gives you the motivation to be strong, but I think it also exploits your vulnerabilities. Like I think when we got together pretty fast, it was a pretty quick turnaround.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of things left over from my previous relationship, from your previous relationship, that maybe inside, I know for me at least, there was like vulnerabilities, like Uber Eats orders for me. That was a big one. We can go into that on Patreon. But that, and then just like lying about little things, I knew it was wrong. I was very open about it to you, but I let you see my weaknesses, and you, being the loving, caring, great partner that you are, accepted them and helped me work towards rounding them off and making them not as much of a vulnerability. So in turn, it makes me a stronger person, but I had to land at that level of vulnerability first.
Yeah.
I love you, by the way.
I love you too.
What's the funniest or pettiest fight we've ever had as a couple? And I have my choice for this one.
Oh,
and I feel like it's going to be the same choice, but go ahead. You first. Ladies first.
The pettiest fight? Like I'm blanking. But I think what's funny is that like I want to do something and you're like, sit your ass back down. I'm like, what? Like not used to that kind of, you know.
I give acts of service as my love language.
Yeah.
I like receiving words of affection because I'm an attention whore, but I like to give acts of service.
But as like a specific petty fight?
Yeah, I have one in my mind.
What is it?
The fucking squash idiots.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stop. Gonna talk about this here?
Yeah, I am. I'll set it up for the world. I, to this day, believe squash, and you know what? I'll even round it up. Squash is the worst one, but any of those marketing sports, nah. If you're going to go to a pub after playing a marketing, golf is acceptable because it's a drinking sport. Golf, fine. I'm never going to play golf. I don't really like golf. I understand why people play golf. Golf people.
Didn't you play golf?
I've never played golf. I've played mini golf.
What about those like tournaments?
What tournaments? I work.
I
don't go to golf.
No. Okay.
I don't golf.
Okay.
I don't golf. I don't play squash. Tennis I'll accept because that's actually very athletic. Squash, I'm sure it has a lot of athletics and mobility and all that involved. Not only that, but you're a very emotionally intelligent person. You see the whole picture all the time. Always. Nothing really gets by you. But for some reason, one of the squash guys had your phone number and he was texting you and he talked to his friends about you at work. And for some reason it's not clocking to you that he was living vicariously through his friends because he's unhappy in his marriage. We can cut this if we need to.
We can definitely cut this if we need to. two of them are very kind, and
Oh,
they're
here we
very
go.
kind of.
My God.
They just seem like inoffensive. You know what I mean? What?
It's okay. They're blocked now. I won.
What the fuck?
Anyway, so the pettiest fight we've ever had, I think we can both agree, was whether or not the squash player relationship was inappropriate or not. On their side. Not on your side. Not on your side. Hang on. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying you were doing anything inappropriate. I think they were trying to live vicariously through their friends they were trying to set you up with. Their actions was inappropriate. Also, disrespectful to that guy's wife. Do you think he knew he was, or do you think his wife knew he was texting a server from the Fox to get a table, to get reservations?
Why are you name dropping everything? I
didn't name drop. I said his wife.
You said from the Fox.
Oh.
From the beep. Just blank it out.
I can mute it. But do you think his wife knew that he was texting a much younger, way out of his league woman to get reservations at the Fox to her personal
I'm not that
number?
much younger, but okay.
Well, you look much younger.
I do.
Yeah, he looks 55 on a good day.
They look exactly their age.
No.
Yeah, they do.
No. For squash players, they're unfit.
Here we go.
I hope they hear this. Yeah.
You are brutal.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
Okay. That was a petty fight. But yeah, very
was
petty.
definitely our
I
most
can
petty
still
fight.
feel the pettiness right now.
And you know what? In all honesty, I know I'm probably wrong. I know I'm probably overreacting. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's petty.
I'm just pulling up my next question here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Oh my god. Shit. I want to say emotions are not scary. One of them would be that. Let's leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah. Emotions are not scary. That's close to what mine would be. Like if I had the opportunity to go back in time and tell young Mitch something, it would be similar to that, but more on the sense of like, don't change yourself to make somebody else happy. I know it feels good to make other people feel happy. It feels good to give other people what they want, but don't sacrifice the most important parts of yourself to make somebody else happy.
So basically, like, don't do, like, be yourself over people pleasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good answers.
Yeah. And even then, like, emotions are not scary. If I would tell that to my younger self would have been like, what are emotions? You know, it's not like emotions are scary. It's just like, what the fuck are emotions?
Mm-hmm. But I think on a deep level, your younger self knew what emotions were. I just think it took a lot of hindsight to realize that you were scared of those emotions.
I don't even know. Like, I don't think it was a conscious thing for me.
No,
it was like
that's what
blocked unconsciously.
Yeah.
Like, you know, before it even reached my conscious mind.
Yeah, before you realized there was an issue there, it was a non-issue because it wasn't on the forefront of your brain.
Exactly.
It was like deep in your subconscious.
Yeah. I don't know what the like psychological concept is. Can't remember if it's denial or repression or like I can't remember which one it is, but I guess it's like one of those, you know, just like defense mechanism, just like you don't feel anything. What are emotions? Yeah.
What's a small thing every day that makes you feel safe or cared for?
You.
Babe, stop.
But yeah, you.
Me? Just me?
Yeah.
You can embellish a little bit. It's fine. It is an audio podcast.
What do you mean?
You can just add a little bit, you know. You can build it up a little bit.
What? You want more compliments?
I'm kidding. I'm
basically.
Kidding. I would never argue with more compliments, but I don't need them. I know how much you love me.
Okay, that wasn't enough. I see.
No, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. That makes me feel very good. I put a lot of value in. So you know how I said before, like, don't sacrifice the parts of yourself that to make somebody else happy.
Yeah.
So now I've been making a huge conscious effort to like harness the parts of myself that exist and apply them to making my partner happy. So like a big example is like my martial arts experience. I feel very confident to go out in the open world because I have so much training, so much of that. Like I'm very familiar with what that all entails. And it does give you a lot of confidence to just walk out in the world and know I'm probably okay in most situations.
Yeah.
Not to be too cocky, but like I train.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen you. You're okay in those situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to hear that, actually, it's like that's the best compliment I think I could ever get is a young woman, or more specifically, my partner, the future mother of my children, telling me that I make her feel safe and cared for. That's like my entire drive as a man is to make you feel safe and cared for. So that was really, really sweet. Thank you.
I was about to add something, but it would be like way too brutal for other people. So anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Where do you feel the most like yourself?
Like besides home?
Yeah, I guess just like it maybe mentally or maybe physically, whatever one speaks to you more.
Okay. To be fair, working at the bar made me feel a lot like myself.
Really?
Yeah. Which is like crazy. Like if we're talking about like physical environments, back in like corporate, like of course I wasn't myself, but I was so ingrained to be this way that I thought it was just like I was. Like I thought the way that I was behaving, the way that I was talking was just the way that I was, but it wasn't true. Like there was a lot of like filtering. My filter would be like this thick. Okay. Like before I say something, everything was like filtered. Everything was premeditated basically. But at the bar, there was something so liberating to just tell people to fuck off. Like just, you're not happy? Go fuck yourself.
That's great.
Pay the bill and get the fuck out.
Pay the bill and get fucked.
Listen, like how many times can we just like what environment gave you that freedom to just treat people like not having to like filter anything. It's like, oh, you're pissing me off, pay the bill and get the fuck out. I don't want you here.
I think that speaks a lot to that what we talked about earlier, your sort of independence or self-sufficiency. I think maybe like especially the bar in which we work, there's a lot of self-sufficiency and freedom to kind of do what you want to do. I mean, you still have to follow some rules, but the way you serve, the way you present yourself, the way you sell the items is it's not robotic. It's very self-sufficient. So I think you
But that's like the brand of the bar on itself.
Yeah. So maybe having that first taste of like self-sufficiency and like you kind of, how good you do at a table is reflected in the tip most of the time.
Most of the time.
Maybe that's what drove you is that like maybe it is the bar physically, but more the like true feeling of like independence where how good you are at your job directly reflects how much money you're getting back. Like something in that sense where like you're self-sufficient, where your self-sufficiency was immediately reflected in that sort of instant gratification environment.
Would you say it's self-sufficiency or would you say it's like a little bit of power? Because, okay, like without being like too like cocky, like out of this world. In a corporate environment, you have no power, basically. Yeah. Like unless you're a CEO or like whatever, executive level. Usually, when you're young, out of university, or even in your early 30s, you don't get to speak to people in a certain way.
Yeah.
Like you really have to be careful. You walk on eggshells with everybody. Everybody. Even people who sexually harass you, didn't happen to me, but like I heard stories, and you just have like no power. You can't tell people to like go fuck themselves. Like, oh, well, if you do, you're fired,
Yeah.
And I think there's just something really liberating to be like your own judge what's wrong and what's right,
Yeah.
and just being able to communicate that right away
Yeah.
without having to like tiptoe or like put a filter on.
Maybe it is a little bit of power. I think it kind of comes back to that world in some way. Because even like
think
now with your pregnancy, you're struggling with your productivity. And I think that might be a lack of feeling self-sufficient in a sense. I think you're doing an amazing job growing our child, and you're doing an amazing job as a mother-to-be. You're perfect in every way.
It's so exhausting. I didn't expect that.
But I just know like how much you struggle internally because you're a very high productive person. So switching from active productivity to passive in the sense of growing a baby, it's a big change. So I still think it's something to do along the lines of like self-sufficiency. It's your own thing. I don't necessarily think it comes from power, but I think it comes from that sense of freedom.
You know what? Sense of freedom is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sense of freedom is a good one. Like you don't feel restricted.
Yeah.
At all. Just telling people how it is.
If you had to describe us as a team in one sentence,
PC.
what would it be? PC shit.
PC shit.
Describe to the people what PC shit is.
Power couple shit. Power couple stuff. Power couple behavior. I think it's a lot of being on the same wavelength as your partner, being very supportive, make each other feel safe. Whoa, can't speak.
That's okay. This is your third language. You're more than okay.
I'm just gonna say it like that. Make each other feel safe. I know it doesn't sound good, but anyway. The safety aspect, the like supportive aspect, just being like lift each other up. And like I can see what your strengths are. And I'm just encouraging you to pursue those strengths versus, wasting time with other avenues in life that could maybe just provide you with a bigger detour of where you want to go.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Just like, I know you're good at, being a performer, being in front of a camera, like this is your environment right now. Being an actor is your environment. And I think you shouldn't waste time, working for the city, for example, when you can do that and double your efforts on this.
Yeah.
Because this is like where you will like flourish.
That was very sweet. Thank you.
That's just one example.
I think, I just feel extremely motivated around you to do what I want to do, because I know like if I'm happy doing what I want to do, that'll translate to us. And you, I don't know, there's something about you that you're so effortlessly amazing at lighting that fire and motivating me to go and do something to really be that provider for our family. And I hope I can just give you 10% of that motivation or that support that you're giving me. I try to in every way I can.
Are you kidding me? Like I got pregnant and you're like, you don't have to work. Never have I ever in my life thought that would ever be an option. Never. I'm like, oh, I need to like make my own money. I need to be like almost like a millionaire before I get pregnant, because I don't want to work while being pregnant, and I don't want to work while like, like the first few years of like raising a child. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was like, if I don't like personally make that money, I cannot have a baby, because I will never have the support of my partner or,
Yeah. No,
etc.
Yeah.
But like, you made this pregnancy just make it seem like it was the most wonderful thing in the world and like the easiest thing in the world, and just like, so like, baby, you don't need to worry. I'm sleeping like a baby at night, not worrying about shit. Do you know how like just comforting that is?
Well, I sleep like a baby at night because I think going back to the title you gave us, if
Or
you
like
just,
a rock, because a baby cries a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Sleep
I
like a
definitely,
rock.
I sleep like a rotten log. It don't fucking move, and I'm hard to wake up. But going back to that title you gave us, like the PC, power couple,
Mm-hmm.
I think what really makes us, I think anybody can be a power couple. I think it's just a matter of finding the right partner for you that rounds off your vulnerabilities or your weaknesses, like we talked about earlier. I know I'm weak or not super strong when it comes to like moving money around, saving, TFSAs, RRSPs. Where I'm strong is I know like I can work. I have no problem working
You have
10,
amazing work ethic.
15, 16-hour days. That's not an issue for me. I actually kind of enjoy it. I feel very gratified when I do that. Where I've struggled in my life is after all that work, figuring out the puzzle of what to do with the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like, I think we have a really good brains versus brawn situation going on here. I don't mind working 15 hours, but what's so hard for me and the most draining is like knowing how much to put away in investments, knowing what my monthly budget can be, knowing this. And like, obviously I know that stuff, but at a very basic level, and a level which it's going to take me, and I need to do some research and get stronger there. But having you, who I think excels in all of those places around like moving money or TFSAs or RSPs and planning for the future in that sense, it rounded off every weakness that I think I have in that sort of like financial stability realm. I'm talking, I guess, specifically to the world of like future planning, growing a family, moving forward in life with proper financial management. The working side of that and the making money side of that, I don't really struggle with. Where I struggle with is making sure that that money can work for me and that it's put away and we have everything we're going to need going forward. And so you round off all of my weaknesses in a perfect way. I really think nothing can stop us as a team. So I think power couple is a very apt title for us.
I love you.
I love you. Okay, I think I've stressed you out enough for the trial episode of the Soft Punches podcast.
It became more comfortable.
You did. You started to get really comfortable.
Yeah.
All right.
At first, I was like, oh my God.
Thank you for coming to the Soft Punches podcast trial episode. This is probably going to be edited. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify and all other streaming platforms. If you liked it and you want to come back for more, subscribe, maybe like, maybe comment. It's going to help the algorithm out. We're going to be dropping a weekly episode, so stay tuned for more.